Hi souls. Remember how I usually greet the channel with welcome to my channel where hobbies go to die? Well, today we're going to try to resurrect one of those hobbies. This is a cross stitch that I've been working on for like 5+ years. I feel like that's too short. I feel like it's been longer than 5. But let's just stick with 5. You probably hear Ripley right now. She's in heat. I am going to get her spayed, but at the moment we don't have the money for that. So you're probably going to hear her yowling, unfortunately, in the background. I'm sorry. But anyways, this cross stitch was a gift for my mother-in-law for Christmas. She's really into the beach theme and mermaids and stuff. So this is a mermaid. Let me get the pattern. If I can find it, this is a lot of paper. There it is. I found it. Okay. So this is the pattern for this cross stitch. It is obviously Ariel with the red hair, and she's got a fork in her hand. So what I'm doing is I'm modifying this to be just a plain old mermaid. So I've turned her red hair into blue. I'm not going to be doing the fork in her hands, and it's just going to be a plain old mermaid, hopefully. This is my second cross stitch, and I'm already modifying patterns that I buy. Oh, by the way, this pattern was bought like a while ago. I don't know if it's still available, but it's by Stunning Cross Stitch on Etsy. I will put the information down in the description if it's still there, or at least if the Etsy shop is still there, I'll at least do that. But anyways, I'm gonna try to work on that. What my plan is to spend like an hour each day for a whole week, and we'll see how much progress I can get on this. At the same time, I'm going to be listening to It by Stephen King, because that is something I've been working on since October. So I'm going to try to finish, there's no way I'm going to finish this in a week, but try to get things started while I finish the audiobook, and we'll see how much progress I do. You guys are going to be my accountability buddies. While I go through this, I'm going to time lapse a lot, so there's going to be music over top because I'm going to be listening to an audiobook. But every now and then I'll pause and comment on this or comment on the audiobook. So sit back and enjoy while I do this. Oh, before I start, by the way, I got this stand from Michael's. It's just like a little dinky stand. Any cross-stitch veterans have any tips or any suggestions as far as stands go and anything else, comment down below. Like I said, this is my second attempt at a cross stitch, so I'm teaching myself and learning and stuff, but I just really do not like the stand. You're probably going to see me slouch a lot, unfortunately, especially at this angle. You're going to see me go into a ball. That's just how it's going to end up. But anyways, let's get this started. I'm going to set a timer for an hour. I'm going to be listening to Stephen King for that hour and working on this for an hour, and then rinse and repeat for the entire week. Set a timer for 60 minutes.
1 hour, starting now. By the way,
So I paused here because I am on to chapter 20 to talk about it. I think I've briefly talked about it a few times now in my other videos, but I'm not liking it, and I'm not liking it because it's too long. I find Stephen King's writing great. I find the losers, the kids in this, great. Chapter 18 and 19 have been fascinating, and things are picking up obviously because this is like the end of the book. But in order to get through, this is like page 900 and something. We're almost into the page 1000. In order to get through 900 plus pages for the story to become great and pick up and everything else is not worth it to me. The only reason why I'm finishing it is because 1, I'm almost done, and 2, I'm determined to finish it. But I would have DNF'd this a long time ago. But things are picking up. Like, you know, the kids are in the drain. I'm not going to spoil a whole lot. I mean, if you've seen the movies, you should know roughly. I mean, the movies are quite a bit different to the book. I will say that. A lot of events that happen in the book do not happen in the movie. They would have had to make more than just 2 movies in order to cover everything anyways. But, so, you know, the kids are in the drain. It's doing that flashback thing where it goes from them as adults to them as kids, and it keeps flashing back and forth between the two because things are happening when they're adults as well. But we're getting both sides right now, which has been flowing well enough for me to understand that we're jumping back and forth. That was done well. I'm interested in what's going on. Things are picking up, like I said, but at this point I'm very done. I just like get this over with. As for this, I'm not going to get a whole lot done in an hour. I'll get a chunk in and everything, but I'm probably going to only complete maybe this part of the hair that I've outlined already in the darker blue in a week. So it's definitely going to take a lot longer, a lot more time in order to do this. But if I keep this up, if I keep this habit up for a week through filming, maybe I'll continue to do it, dedicate an hour, listen to another audiobook, and hopefully finish it at some point. I don't know how long this is going to take, but hopefully finish it at some point. Also, I didn't realize how little of the lighter blue of the thread that I have. I'm going to have to get some more. I mean, there's obviously other things that I can do in this while I wait for the order, or at least wait for someone to drive me to Michael's so I can pick up somewhere, because I can't drive, so I have to rely on someone else to drive me. But I will do what I can with the blue that I have left. Okay, I'm going to continue now. I don't know why I keep waving every single time I'm going to stop talking, but... Okay, so I have calculated that I have gone through 2 threads in an hour, and that's because of taking a while to thread it, and I did pause without pausing the timer too to talk to you. I probably should have paused the timer. I got a good chunk in, but if that's going to keep up, then like 2 threads an hour for 7 hours, I'm definitely not going to do a whole lot in a week. But it gets me somewhere, and if I keep it up, if I keep doing an hour each day, even past this vlog, then perhaps I will finish this. We'll see. But yeah. It's got a lot of hair. This is a big piece. I have these started too for her skin, and then this dark blue one for the outlining of the rest of her hair, because this is not all of her hair. I just got tired of doing the dark one, so I've been filling it in instead. Unfortunately, since this is like 5 years or more, definitely probably more, this canvas got dirty and dusty. Does anyone know how to clean that without ruining the thread? Or any other kind of cross-stitch tips you can give me? Go ahead and put them down. I'm doing this chunk first, and then I'll go in and do this chunk, and then there's like a little bit of the tail here that I'll probably maybe start so I don't lose this, because this is in several, it's in several things. Yeah, because this is part of this. So it looks like I'll be starting on the greens and stuff after I get through this part of the hair. As far as it is concerned, I'm on chapter 20. I'm like 15 minutes into chapter 20. Some interesting things are happening that I can't really necessarily talk about, because spoilers for anyone who is interested in actually reading the book. Speaking of, my husband wants to read the book now, because in this house it's been polarizing. So my brother-in-law, he read the book first, and he also felt like it was too long, but after finishing it and, considering, he's like, There's probably nothing in there that needs to be edited down. So he actually likes it. I don't know, maybe once I sit there and ponder it after finishing it, I'll also think the same thing. We'll see. But right now, I'm not liking it. So he wants to read it to see if he can break the tie. I don't know if he likes it or not. So that'll be interesting. But yeah, I'm going to end it here, and I will be back tomorrow with another hour of this. So it is day 2, Monday, and we're going to continue with this cross stitch and an hour worth of It by Stephen King, which, judging by this, that means I'm going to finish chapter 20 and about half of chapter 21, it looks like, which I know the infamous scene that everyone talks about with the kids is in this, which I'm probably going to cringe through, so you're probably going to see that while I'm trying to do this cross stitch. Yeah, I think that's about it. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. One other thing. Today's hair washing day. Don't judge me for the past 2 days of my hair being greasy as hell. My hair is extremely thin and balding at top because of medical conditions. So one, I don't want to wash my hair every single day because I also don't want to dry it out. But two, my hair gets greasy very, very quickly. So that's why my hair is like this. Now I'm going to start this.
Starting now.
I forgot to set my timer. Now it's set. Try this. I pulled the PS4 box that we still have to elevate this a little bit more. Maybe I can straighten my back because my back hurts. I would love to be able to lean back, and I guess I could pull this all the way forward and try that. I don't know if you can still see me in the camera though. So if you can't see me in the camera, I'm sorry. If I had a viewfinder, I would know, but I have you turned around. But I'm going to try that and see if that's helpful for my back. We got 8 minutes left on chapter 20, it looks like. So halfway into doing this. Things are kicking off pretty well. It's just, Stephen King says the weirdest things sometimes. Details the weirdest things. Details I don't necessarily need. And I'm afraid because, like I said, we're getting to that part. I thought it began in chapter 20 and ended in chapter 21. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe it's chapter 21 that it starts. I don't know, but here we go. Okay, I have to ask this question. Anyone who's read this, what's with the turtle? It's been brought up occasionally, and now it's like heavily being talked about. This is going to be a spoiler, so just jump ahead if you don't want to listen to this. But I guess my interpretation of this is, the whole world turtle type of thing. I don't remember what mythology it is. With certain mythology, the universe turtle or whatever is the one who did all that, and I think this is like maybe a nod to it. When did Terry Pratchett's Discworld come around? When did it start? Because I know Terry Pratchett's Discworld is also The World is on a Turtle. So is King nodding towards that or just nodding towards the mythology? It just seems very out of place for this book to me. I don't know. We're getting its monologue, Pennywise's monologue right now, talking about the turtle. So I'm just very confused. But okay, so my hour is up, but I'm going to continue to do this until this one's over, like I did yesterday, and continue to listen to this. I don't know if you noticed, but that other thread that I threaded first shredded on me, and then this one's trying to knot on me. I'm not having a good day today when it comes to threads, and I really need to order more of that blue, because there's no way I'm going to finish this without it. So not only did my needle fell out of the thread, but my TV also turned off. Oh. So I have pretty much finished this little section. I've got like this little tiny triangle left here. I don't know if you can see that. And then I'm gonna work on this section, but there's no way I have enough blue for this section. So I'm gonna have to order more, which is obviously not gonna get here in time. But in the meantime, I guess I could work on this, because I do have like the dark blue here already done, so I know where to start over here. But I also have like all this here that I kind of want to finish so they're not hanging there anymore. So I don't know. I don't know where I'm going to start once I run out of blue, but we'll see. But yeah, I will be back tomorrow with my hair thankfully freshly washed. I've been in PJs this entire time because I'm not going to get dressed just to do cross stitch. The grand finale is basically here at this point. I'm like a quarter of the way into chapter 21. So I've got like another hour left of chapter 21, which will be finished tomorrow. And then I can't remember how many chapters in this, but it's definitely working towards the grand finale. So see you tomorrow. It is Tuesday. It looks like I'm going to be finishing chapter 21 today, because there's like 65 minutes left. And as I have learned through the past couple of days, I kind of cross-stitch past the 60-minute mark. So we'll be definitely finishing chapter 1 today while I go through this. I have ordered more blue. I don't know when it's coming in. Probably should go look that up. But in the meantime, I will be working on the other stuff once I run out of the blue that I have right now. I think I have enough to continue with the blue today. I actually did a workout last night, a Pilates workout, My shoulders are really sore between that and yesterday doing this. This really works your shoulders. So I'm probably going to be pausing a lot and rolling my shoulders because they're really sore right now. It's a struggle trying to do this. Oh, also, I kind of signaled. I only have 2 left. I thought I had like 4, but I only have 2 blue left. So literally I'm going to be finishing the blue today. We'll see how far that takes me. It should get me like a good chunk of the blue done. All right, they're fighting Pennywise. So I'm listening to that bit. That's my timer. I'm like 5 minutes from finishing chapter 21 and I want to finish this even though my shoulder is real bad today. So I'm going to finish this and finish chapter 21 and however long of chapter 22. I feel like I'm coming up on that infamous scene. I thought it was chapter 19 and 20, but I guess I remembered wrong. I looked it up to see what chapter that's in, because I gotta prepare myself from cringe. So I guess I'm going to be cringing through that today while I finish this. Unless I'm wrong again. Or the narrators omitted that scene. I was sitting there waiting for like a good place to pause, but this is a very, very long monologue of things that are going down. I keep saying things are going down, but it's been like one long grand finale. So that's what was going on. But during that very long monologue, King was definitely on something when he wrote this. We're back with the turtle and just weirdness. I know this is supposed to be like eldritch and everything else, but it's one thing to describe eldritch as something other, another thing to just randomly, there's a phrase that keeps being shouted as like some sort of mantra, which, Bill has latched onto, which makes this entire thing more hilarious than it is intense. There's the turtle. There's just moments you're just like, what's going on? That makes this, I know this is a very intense scene. The narrator is doing really good at making it a very intense scene. He's literally shouting through this entire monologue. But the things that he's having to say are more comical than it is intense. It just kind of throws you through a loop. There's just things that I feel like King like latched onto and is just going with it. Just throwing it at the wall and just going with it, I'm enjoying the end of this book so far, but at the same time, there's just things that, no. Anyways, I'm done, so I'm gonna end it here. So today is Wednesday, and we are going to continue with this. The only problem is I'm out of blue, so we're going to work on another section. We probably are going to work on this section so I can finally get rid of these, because these have been hanging here for like 5 years. So I might find where this pattern is. I got to figure out where it is because this is in multiple sheets. But once I figure that out, I'm going to probably continue this, which this is the hand, which is going to be a little difficult because the original pattern, the shading of the hair was also the shading of the skin. And since I've changed the hair color, that's no longer the case. So I'm having to pick which ones are going to be the shading for the hand and which ones are going to be the shading for the hair. So that's going to be a little difficult. But we'll see if I can get it to work. And then tomorrow is when more blue will come, so if I do get that before I film, then I will work on the hair again. But if not, then we'll just continue to do the rest of it. I didn't even put my Spotify on the TV, so I don't know. I don't remember where I'm at. I think I'm still on chapter 21, or maybe it's 22. We'll see. Okay, so I am on chapter 22. There are 72 minutes left of this one. Of course, as we've noticed the past week, I have gone over the 60 minutes anyway, so I might finish chapter 22 today. So I'm going to get started, figure out where the pattern is for this, and go on. So I need to AFK real quick. AFK. I'm not at the keyboard. I will be right back. Okay, I'm back. I just put my hair in the side ponytail because I realized my hair was greasy again. Of course, today is hair washing day again. So I put dry shampoo in my hair. What brand of dry shampoo do you use if you use it? I was doing Batiste, but I saw a lawsuit on them about a certain ingredient that they put in their dry shampoo, so I stopped because I'm very concerned about that. So I started using a brand called Hask. Of course, it was the volumizing shampoo because my hair is also really thin on top, so I was kind of hoping to give some lift, but it feels like it's not doing a whole lot for dry shampoo, and it also feels like it's making my hair greasier, which is weird for a dry shampoo. I might have to try another brand. I'm just trying everything I can with my hair. I've mentioned before in my video that I have medical conditions that causes my hair to thin, so I'm trying to combat that, and also because my hair is so thin, combat the whole oiliness and everything. So if you have any tips or tricks for me, please put them down in the comments. I'm willing to try anything. Anyways, I'm going to get back to this and get back to listening to it. To that scene, that infamous scene. I'm just gonna go right out and say it. This is probably a spoiler or whatever, but I don't care because this is maddening. So Beverly's idea of bringing them back together because the kids are arguing after defeating it is by sex? Huh? King. Seriously? Oh my god. Okay, let's see. Challenge mode. See if I can actually continue to do cross stitch while I'm having to listen to this, because why? How did the narrator keep a straight face during this? Because good lord. Also, I miscounted and now I'm one off from everything. So it's going to be slightly skinnier because I don't know how to fix that. Because I've already done quite a bit and I don't want to sit there and pick them all out. Oops. Okay, back to it. Okay, so the timer's already gone off. I'm on chapter 23 now. So I'm very determined to get this one off the board too, since it's been there for a while. So I think I'm going to go ahead and do that and extend this little session for a little bit longer. We're finally over the infamous scene. Jesus Christ. We'll keep going for a little bit so I can finish this one. Got them all off. I'm nowhere near done with the hands. Also, my concern with miscounting is wrong. I miscounted my miscount. I'm also, since I'm not doing the fork, it's just going to be her fist. I'm kind of concerned that it's going to look a little phallic. I guess we'll find out. Yeah, I'm getting there, and I finally got this off. I also got the needle minders from Etsy, which, if I can remember the shop, I will link the shop. I got this one. It says, "You say I'm a witch like it's a bad thing." So it's a witch one, and it's got like a pinup witch on a broom. And when I bought it, the person gave me a free one, this little cute kitty one, which I'm glad that they did, because then it helps me kind of manage my needles when I have, incomplete threads that I want to keep for other things. But yeah, I'm on chapter 23, so I will continue with that tomorrow. I got things I gotta do, so I'm gonna go do those things. Today's Thursday. I'm laughing because I just got the blue delivered. Now, I'll be honest, I did not read the listing on Amazon very clearly, and I thought when you ordered it, it was just going to be one roll, so I ordered two, thinking this is a lot of blue, I'm going to need a lot more. Well, yeah, that listing apparently was for an entire box, so I've got two of these. This one I haven't opened yet. Two of these full of this blue, 518. It's a very pretty blue, so if I can find any other projects for it, then I'm set. So, yeah. Now I don't have to worry about that blue anymore. I wonder how many of those I'm going to go through in order to fill this out, because there is a lot of blue in this. That's not what I got to work on today. I really want to finish this hand, so I want to finish that and finish the blue outline for this page. So I want to finish the hand, and then I blocked out all the dark blue areas for the blue outline, and I also blocked out where I feel like the hair should be, because I've explained before, because I'm modifying this, the red shade, the darker shade of the hair also doubles as the shade of the skin. So I had to guess on where the hair starts and the skin begins. I'm also watching Ripley. She keeps trying to jump on the bookshelves. Anyways, where was I? The hair, I think that's where the hair should end and the skin should begin, because this is like the fold of her other arm. We'll see. I don't know if I'm going to royally mess this up by modifying it, or I'm going to be okay. I'm hoping Ripley will behave herself, because I tried to do this yesterday and she just absolutely went nuts. I played with her for hours on end while I was rushing to try to eat lunch, and I'm very behind today. So I was like eating lunch, cleaning their litter boxes, doing my yoga and meditation and all of that, and also trying to keep her entertained, because she's young, she's a kitten, she needs some playtime. and she still is not getting along with our senior cat. Not that our senior cat would play, our senior cat doesn't play. Hopefully I've tired her out. Of course, she's now milling around because I've gotten up and I've moved all this stuff and set it up. She already attacked my strings, so we'll see. We'll see if she'll stay put. I was hoping she would lay here and you would kind of see her laying there. I don't know where else to position her where you can see her while I'm doing this, but she was laying there until I started the film. I'm gonna go ahead and get this started. I'm on chapter, I should probably I did this again. I did this yesterday too. I did not set up my TV. I think I'm on chapter 23. We'll see. Yeah, so I'm on chapter 23. Huh. I must have, I did listen to the book a lot longer than I had intended to. Hey baby. Yeah. So I'm on the last chapter. I'm going to finish, there's the epilogue too, which is 24 minutes. I might as well just finish it today. Which means I'll have to think of something else to watch or listen to for Friday and Saturday to finish off the week. I am planning on listening to another audiobook after this that is Night Street Women of Night Street Women, something like that. I can't remember the title now. So maybe I'll start that tomorrow and start listening to it. I guess let's finish it off today. Okay, so I completed Stephen King, It by Stephen King. By the way, the narrator was Stephen Webb. I just heard that in the end credits, which he's a good narrator, a really good narrator. He definitely helped with bringing tension to the story. I kind of feel sorry for the fact that he had to yell so much. Now, as for the story, let me finish coloring this in. And I'll look at the camera because I got some final thoughts. All right, so final thoughts of it. That ending wrapped things up so nicely that all of my gripes and everything else have kind of smoothed out. I still have gripes. That book is still way too long. But now I understand the reason for putting so much backstory and history and everything else with Derry and the kids, because you kind of need that in order to feel the impact of the ending a lot more. I was tearing up at some points at the ending, but I still feel like there's some scenes in that could have been edited down or were unnecessary. Stephen King likes to ramble. I've already learned that through reading 2 of his books now. This was too much rambling. But as it stands right now, because of that ending and me reflecting on it, I think I would give it 3 stars. When I was first going through it and I was going heavy with the negative talk, I was seriously considering to give it 1 star. It's still not a 5-star for me. But 3 stars is much better than 1. Would I recommend anyone read it? If you're curious enough and want to tackle a 1,000+ page book, then by all means, go do it. But beyond that, no, not really. I would recommend The Shining over it. Will I be reading more King books? Obviously. Because King has written so many books, and in so many genres, and in so many lengths, that I feel like I'm going to find quite a bit of books by him that I will absolutely enjoy. It's just one flop out of many. And like I said, this was a 3-star. That is an average for me. Anything below that, I usually DNF. And I would have actually DNF'd this if I wasn't determined. And now I'm glad that I did not DNF it. And I'm glad that I was determined to finish it. Because, as you see, my star rating has changed. The 2 cats are down here, so I'm watching them. She's already hissing and keeping an eye out. I don't think GT sees her. I'm hoping they get along. We've only had Ripley for 3 weeks now, close to 3 weeks. But they got on a little bit of a tussle earlier today. We're going to be fixing Ripley very soon. We already called in a vet to price it to figure out. Anyways, I kind of went off on a tangent about the cat and not this. So the hand is almost done. I have like a little bit left of the lighter brown. We'll see what it looks like once it's filled in. I mean, I guess it kind of gives the impression of a hand. I don't know. I'm trying my best to modify this and make it look okay. I think it'll look like a hand. Once it's all done, when you see this hand, you'll understand this is her other hand. So I did complete it today, but I am intending to continue this vlog for another 2 days, to do a whole week. So I'm going to start the nonfiction tomorrow, which I can't remember the title. I will get all that information tomorrow and I'll tell you about it. It is Friday and we have 2 more days, today and tomorrow. We finished it yesterday and I had planned to start a new audiobook, which I kind of fumbled over the information yesterday, but I have it pulled up now. It's Ninth Street Women. It's about 5 painters and the movement that changed modern art. I've been wanting to study art history, which I've slowly kind of studied art history myself, but this popped up on my radar as I was studying, and I'm also very big into learning about the awesome things women have done in history. So this kind of doubles as art history and also women's history. So I'm going to start that today, do the whole hour thing again. Let's go ahead and get started. I have Ripley again out and about. I think she's laying down somewhere. I wish I had 2 cameras so I can do a kitty camera and hopefully she'll come lay here later, but I don't have 2 cameras. I'm using my phone. Maybe in the future. I forgot to say, sorry. So this is written by Mary Gabriel and it is narrated by Lisa Strathopoulos? I don't know how to pronounce her name. But I'll put all that information down in the description too. Okay, now we will get started. I forgot to set a timer, but also I think Ripley wants to be babied right now. What do you think? Yeah? I think you want to be babied right now. I'm almost done with track 1, chapter 1, or whatever. It's saying track 1. I don't know if this is like a full chapter or if they like broke it up in like intervals or something. It's been pretty good so far, very interesting. I'm learning about Grace? I've completely forgotten her name. That's the bad thing about listening and stuff. Well, even reading, I completely blank out people's names. As it was explained in this chapter, women were a little bit more revered in art and talked about in art before the art business came along. And as soon as it became a business, women weren't talked about at all or as much. So, interesting factoid. But yeah, I've been learning a whole lot while I sit here and baby Ripley. She just wanted her attention. This is the most agreeable cat. She will literally fall asleep if you tickle her belly. And she doesn't mind you touching her tail or her feet or any of that. But I'm doing cross-stitch, baby. Can you not lay down next to me? This isn't the cat show. As cute as you are. Okay. I'm gonna put you down over here, baby. She seems settled now. Yeah, I can hear her. She's purring. She's a loud motorboat. Okay. So, she seems settled now, so I will go back to it. Have to pause here. The first 2 tracks is basically kind of like a story of how 9th Street came to be, the gallery in 9th Street. So it's not just about the women, but everyone who basically created 9th Street Gallery. Track 3, which I'm assuming is chapter 3, is about Lee Krasner, the first of the women that we're going to be learning about. I had to pause because we're learning the story of how her schooling and everything else, how she's coming to be. And a critic, I can't remember his name, but a critic came in the gesture drawing class where she was at. Apparently he's a very acclaimed critic and, you know, his critiques matter. But when he came to Lee Krasner's, instead of saying anything to her, he picked up the sketch that she was working on and tore it in half. And then placed the torn pieces in front of her while laughing. I would slap the taste out of his mouth for doing that. Okay, I'm going to keep going. I'm determined to fill this out. It has technically been an hour, even though I paused for a while to hold Ripley. I think I'll keep going until my husband's home. And then close out there. So I think that's all. This book has been great so far. It's written like a novel, which I love when nonfiction does that because it's a lot easier to stomach all of the information that you're being fed. But it's going to make you feel some things because I'm still on Lee and I'm hearing all kinds of things that she had to suffer through that I'm just like, Jesus. So, some warnings there. You're going to be reading through some rough things. But I've been enjoying it so far. As far as this, I cut this off because I wanted to use it, but the next part is like up here somewhere. I was going to use it to like finish it off so I don't have the needle laying there, but I kept losing my spot because it's hard to count these. I don't have a grid on this or anything else. So it's hard to count these tiny ones, so I'll worry about that later. I guess when I start doing the dark blue, it'll be easier to find where this is supposed to go. But I'm almost filled this out. I put this on a stand in order for me to stop slouching so much because it hurts. But since I'm like down here, I'm still having to slouch and it hurts so much. And my tailbone hurts from sitting too much, which is hilarious because I used to be very sedentary. Now I've been doing a lot more getting up and walking and everything that I'm not used to being able to sit for long periods of time. But yeah, my tailbone hurts. So I might be quitting here in a little bit. It's been... have one square to go. I was hoping I could get it in that one piece, but there is no way. I ran out of room. It was way too short. So I'm going to have to pull another thread just to fill that one square and then save it for something else. Which again, I'm going to have to do a lot of the dark blue in order to learn where I can put that piece. So. Stop it there because my back is hurting. and I have a feeling that my husband's gonna walk in the door anytime soon. I got a lot done today, despite the cute interruption. I finished the hand, and I'm gonna work on the outline of the blue for this bit, and that will hopefully give me a better idea of where these will start, so I can start those and finish them, because I don't like having so many needles out, because I don't have a very good place to store this, and I'm afraid that I'm going to lose my needles and the string, especially the loose ones that aren't attached. I'm really happy with all of the progress that I've made on this entire week. Tomorrow will be the last time I film working on it. I have my mojo back for this project, so I feel like I am definitely going to be continuing. And I'm really enjoying Ninth Street Women. It's just really rich with history, and it's not just focused on the women. It's focused on the history of that time. The Great Depression, the wars, and all of that, and how it impacted the art movement. I'm learning so much. I'll happily finish this. The only issue is Spotify's audiobook thing that comes with premium is only 15 hours a month before it rolls over. So I don't know where I'm at in my 15 hours, but I have a feeling that I'm going to run out soon, and then I'm going to be forced to wait until I have 15 hours replenished, which sucks. I hate that that's a thing. So I will be back tomorrow to continue with this and close out the vlog. This is the last day of the week vlog, and we're going to see how far I get. Remember, we have started a new audiobook. It's Ninth Street Women. We're going to continue with that. I'm actually dressed for once because I went to go get my nails done for Halloween. But it's time to work on this. To talk about something that I find fascinating. So it's talking about the Great Depression again, and how it basically inspired a whole lot of people, or so people say, to turn to art. Of course, other people say it's because of the funding to artists in that time, but also kind of made people turn and change their career and focus on art, because you have the backing of money that it was scarce back then in order to get the supplies and everything in order to try to make it as an artist. But I find it fascinating that it takes devastation, war, depression to awaken our artistic ability, because we always choose art of some form, crafting, drawing, writing, music, whatever it is. We use it as an outlet, and we always need that outlet during harder times than we do happier times. Me, the melancholy lover or whatever, find it fascinating. I mean, I'm sure there's artists out there who are happy and joyous and express that in their paintings and stuff, but it just seems more darker times. And people use those darker times to make happier paintings because that's a way to bring on happy thoughts. Or they really lean into that darker side, which it's what I do. I lean into the darker side and focus on that instead. I don't know. I just found that fascinating that a lot of artists came to be because of the Great Depression. Again, there's a lot of good information here. So there's a instructor, Hoffman. I remember his last name. I can't remember his first name. But apparently he's of the mindset for art that you are painting, writing, or whatever yourself, your nature. And I fully believe that. I fully believe that art of any kind. You are putting yourself on paper. It doesn't have to convey anything else beyond that. We try to put words into feelings or thoughts or impressions when reality is there's not ever going to be a word or a phrase or anything to describe art. You don't have to have meaning beyond it besides that. If you enjoy it, if it resonates with you, that's all that matters. It's very thought-provoking. I really like this book so far. Also, he kind of lost a little respect for me after just hearing what I heard. But, I mean, it's of the times, and it's men of the times. But he basically, his compliment to Lee after she did her studies with him was, "These are so good, you wouldn't think they came from a woman." The amount of eye rolling I wanted to do when I heard that. Yeah, he lost a little respect for me from that. But I still agree with the other thing he said about art being your nature, you on paper. Maybe I'll continue to do this and stop pausing and talking to the camera. Okay, so the hour's up, but I've got the string hanging out, so I'm going to finish this thread and then call it there. So let's keep going. We're on Hitler and his being against art that doesn't have a straight meaning on the surface, and all the craziness with all that. So. It for the week of working on this. I mean, if you remember what this looked like in the beginning, I got pretty far. I did a good chunk here, and then I finished the hands, and I'm working on the hair outline, which will be filled in with blue. So, not bad. As for Night Street Women, we are now on Elaine D. Kooning. Chapter 4 in the book, but on the audiobook it's track 6 that I'm on. Elaine's pretty independent type of woman, so I've been enjoying learning about her. She's like me. She's a multitasker. She was studying to be a mathematician and I think scientist of some kind or psychologist, because she went into an art class with a giant book on schizophrenia. But she was in college for that until someone who knew her walked up to her and was like, "What are you doing? You should be in art college." So she took that as a sign, and she dropped out of the, I think, Northgate College? I can't remember the names. I'm not retaining the names, I'm just retaining an impression of what I'm hearing. But she took that as a sign, dropped out, and joined that college, got accepted. So she's doing art, but even though she dropped out of the other college, she didn't stop her studies in the other subjects that she's interested in. It's like me and wanting to study all sorts of things. As soon as I get an interest in something, I immediately want to dive in and study it. I'm relating to her a bit. I know I've said this multiple times, but I am really liking this book. So definitely think it's going to be a 5-star. I really like the way it's being written. I like the narrator if you do the audiobook, which this is I looked on Goodreads earlier this week. It's a 900 plus page book, so I'm kind of glad that I did this as an audiobook, because when it's a big chunky book like that, it's hard for me to handle as a physical book. I want to buy the book to have on my shelf, but I don't think I would be able to read it as a physical copy. That's the end of the vlog. I don't know what I'm going to do for next week. I usually have a plan, but I don't have a plan this time, so I got to figure out what I'm going to do for next week. And I'm very behind on reading, besides listening to audiobooks. I'm very behind on the physical books. I've lost them over there somewhere. But I really need to start reading, and I really need to edit this because I'm very behind on editing this. So, lots for me to do. But until then, I will see you next Wednesday. Bye, souls.